Good morning friends, my name is Meena from Rai University. We are going to see the topic Principles of Liability in Jurisprudence 2 Unit 4. So what is the principles of liability? What Salmon says on principles of liability? Liability or responsibility is the bond of necessity that exists between the wrongdoer and the remedy of the wrong. So liability or responsibility is the bond of necessity between whom? Between the wrongdoer and the remedy. Liability arises from a wrong or the breach of a duty. So liability arises from what? Wrong or the breach of a duty. What Austin says on liability, those certain forbearances, commissions or acts together with their consequences as it was the purpose of the duties to avert and imputable to the persons who have foregone, committed or acted. So what Austin says, those certain forbearances, some acts are those certain acts which one should not commit and a person is committing that act, so that is he is breaching his duty and he is liable for that act. Then kinds of liability: civil liability, criminal liability, remedial liability, penal liability, vicarious liability, absolute or strict liability. So what is civil liability? Civil liability is enforcement of the right of plaintiff against the defendant in a civil proceeding. An action for recovery of a debt, restoration of property, specific performance of contract. These are the examples of civil liability. Criminal liability, criminal liability is a liability to be punished in a criminal proceeding. Assault, defamation, theft and malicious injury will comes under criminal liability. Remedial liability, if an injury is caused by the violation of a right, there can be remedial by compelling the person bound to comply with it. There is no idea of punishment, the theory of remedial liability. If a person is committing something wrong and that person is not going to punish, that person just have to compensate, that will come under remedial liability. Penal liability, the theory of a penal liability is concerned with the punishment of a wrong. Kinds of punishment: deterrent punishment, preventive punishment, retributive punishment, reformative punishment. These are the kinds of punishment. And penal liability, there should be punishment for wrong. Vicarious liability, ordinary only that person is liable for a wrong which he has committed himself. However, there are certain cases where one person is made liable for the wrongs committed by another. So for example, if I have appointed some certain to do certain acts and that person has done and something wrong has happened. So who will be liable in that situation? I will be liable in that situation. Vicarious liable means a person is doing act on behalf of you, then that person will be liable. That you will be the liable, not that person who will doing the act on behalf of you. Then absolute or strict liability. So in absolute liability, a person is punishable for committing wrong even if he has no guilty mind. The law does not inquire whether the guilty person has committed the wrong intention or negligently or innocently. In an absolute liability, the person will be absolutely liable. There will not be any exceptions. In a strict liability, there will be some exceptions like act of a God, defense. And in general conditions of liability, what are the general conditions of liability? Act, there should be act, there will be wrongful act, damnum sem injuria, injurious and damnum circumstances of the act, and mens rea. Thank you.